People rely so much on punishment because it feels immediate, familiar, and emotional satisfying. When someone acts out or doesn't follow the rules, punishment often feels like the fastest way to take charge and calm things down. For example, if a student talks back in class, a teacher might send them to the principal office. Not necessarily because it would help the student learn, but because it restores order and shows the rest of the class that disrespect won't be tolerated. Punishment is often seen as a shortcut to justice, something that signals to others that behavior was wrong and won't be accepted. From childhood, we're taught that bad actions deserve consequences, like getting grounded for lying or losing recess for misbehaving. These patterns get reinforced in schools, workplaces, and even media, where villains are punished and heroes are rewarded. Psychology punished is tied to operating conditioning, where behaviors are shaped by consequences. People assume that if a behavior leads to something unpleasant, it won't happen again. But in reality, punishment always doesn't lead to learning. It can create fear, resentment, and defiance. Think of a child who was yelled at for spilling something. They might not learn to be careful, but instead learn to hide mistakes or avoid asking for help. Another reason punishment is used so much is that it seems quicker and less complicated. Teaching someone why the behavior is harmful, helping them reflect, and guiding them toward better choices take time, patience, and emotional effect. For instance, instead of suspending a student for fighting, another approach might involve a conversation between the student and the person they hurt. Talking through what happened and why it happened and how to repair the harm takes time and work. Punishment, by contrast, is faster and doesn't require much emotional investment. There's also a social dynamic at play, especially in group settings where people may go along with punishment because they assume others know what they're doing. This is called pluralistic ignorance. A classic example is when no one speaks up during a bullying incident because they think someone else will intervene or they assume the group silent means the behavior is acceptable. In crisis situations or confusing moments, this effect becomes even stronger. People look at others for cues, and if the group leans towards punishment, individuals often follow, even if it's privately disagreed. And then there's the emotional side where people feel hurt, disrespected, or powerless. Punishment can feel like a way to reclaim dignity or balance the scales. For example, a manager might fire an employee for a mistake out of frustration, even if coaching would have been more effective. That emotional release might feel satisfying, but it doesn't always lead to a meaningful change. Even though punishment may seem like a simple way to fix behavior, it's often driven by emotional and habit more than really understanding. Over time, it can damage trust and make it harder to build strong relationships. In families, it can lead to fear instead of learning, and in schools, it can make students feel unheard. If we want a real change, we need to focus on empathy, connection, and listening. Punishment might stop a behavior for now, but it rarely teaches the deeper lesson. Instead of asking, "How do I stop this?" we should ask, "What does this person need to grow?"